Lovely angle to your crotch.
We're visiting Simon today, who's a quadriplegic who currently uses mouth-operated devices to work on his computer and laptop. He came to REMAP because he needed us to develop a hands-free engineering solution to enable him to use, operate and race remote controls cars, which is his passion. So do come into his workshop. This is Simon, and over here we have Martyn Evans, who is the technical assistant from REMAP who helped to create this solution. So, Simon, can you give us a little bit of a background about yourself and, you know, how we got here and everything else?
Simon Cooper. I had an accident 5 years ago, which changed my life basically. And I broke my neck, falling off a trampoline. Prior to this, I'd been in the army and for a long time, 22 years. But I was a really fit and active guy and spent all my time sort of out and about, loved to be doing things with the family, but also with my own sort of strength hobbies as such. So it kept me really busy. But in the army as well, I was an engineer, mechanical engineer, working on weapon systems for the military. Engineering was a passion of mine. Later on, it sort of at the end of my career, got actually into an accident investigation, where I would go out to accident sites, looking at the equipment to see if we could come up with an engineering solution, to ultimately so it didn't happen again. Having my accident back in May 2020. It was kind of a goal of mine to get back to living the life that I used to, and be that at work and recreation. Fortunately, work-wise, I was able to get back to work for the Ministry of Defence as a safety engineer. Luckily, there is a lot of adaptive equipment to enable me to do so. I use mouth control devices and voice technology software to operate the computer. So work-wise, I was able to get back to. It was the other side. It was that sort of recreation hobby sort of hole that I needed to fill, because I didn't want to just be getting up in the morning, going to work, going back to bed.
Don't blame me.
Yeah. So I needed to fill that sort of void. And as a quadriplegic, you can probably imagine there's not a lot of sort of hobbies or recreation activities available to me. Whilst I was in hospital, I had a lot of time to fill. So, watching YouTube videos and just watching radio-controlled cars, all these videos of, racing, stunts, etc. It sort of got me through those dark times. These videos were absolutely fantastic. And it was sort of from there, I had this sort of burning desire that's what I wanted to get into. Whilst I was in hospital watching all these videos, it sort of built up this sort of fire in my belly as such that it's what I wanted to do when I got out of hospital. So I looked into it and very quickly realised that it's not a very accessible activity or sort of recreation, in the sense that they're mainly hand-controlled devices. So these are very hand operated. With that engineering sort of side of me and an investigation side that I was talking about, there's a very simple solution to this. So I started looking, and this is where I found, obviously, you guys, REMAP, and came on board, and lo and behold, here we are. We've got an absolutely amazing sort of solution to this. And it's enabled me to get out and actually do stuff with the family. And I say with the family, it's the whole family are involved. My daughter's got her own car. My nephew and niece, they've got their own cars. And we all go out and have a good blast.
Remote control family.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, so it's enabled us to, not just for me to get out and about, but to actually spend time with the family as well.
It was such a long time ago now, wasn't it? Yeah. It's taken us probably over a year, but some back and forths and some iteration.
I had some hospital time as well, which obviously delayed things, but yeah.
But yeah, we got somewhere. This is not ideal. The format is completely inaccessible. There were some other REMAP volunteers involved at the beginning, and there was definitely lots of back and forth with ideas and things. And the first idea, we got an inexpensive Chinese controller, which was a single hand controller. So that's that's already gotten us from two hands to one hand. Yeah. So it sounded like it was a sensible direction to go. this is a 3D case that holds that controller that we bought off the internet. I needed to make it a rectangle, something that would easily grab onto. I thought that was the first go, wasn't it? I just threw together a shape with a bit of a grip on the top and 3D printed that in with the resin printer because it's a bit better for like germs and stuff. But there was a problem with this, wasn't there, Simon?
Yeah. So I think it was it wasn't having sort of full pickup as we were operating the actual device.
Yeah.
It kind of had a bit of a lag.
Yeah, there was a dead zone in the middle, wasn't there? So like you would be up here by the time it started going forward, and obviously with the length of the control stick, that's exaggerated quite considerably.
And I don't have that much head and neck movement, so
Well, the dead zone is an unfortunate side effect of an inexpensive device, essentially. I think so we decided to go a bit more expensive, didn't we? You got the NX8, which is a great controller, and it's quite modular. So I was able to unscrew these 4 screws and pull the whole gimbal out. And then that gimbal is now in a box that can be mounted in front of Simon. And it maintains the adjustment, and this hangs on the side of the chair. If for any reason you wanted to reverse the process, you could do, but I don't see why you would. But and it's something that I feel others could do themselves.
I guess it was that kind of engineering brain, and also from the accident side of it, the fact that, you know, previously when I was looking at engineering solutions for modifying equipment to make it not happen again, or more accessible for others, it seemed a very simple solution, which is what I wanted, because I wanted something for others to be able to do themselves as well, or not necessarily themselves, but obviously with assistance.
We want it to be something that someone could, with a 3D printer, could come along and just print the files and unscrew this, follow a manual, and create it themselves. So I think
was there any software changes you needed to make as well? Or
we did
really?
Quite a lot of faffing about with the controller, didn't we? There's some impenetrable menus in this controller, so that was an interesting experience. We figured it out in the end, though, didn't we? And
and I think that's just the nature of you know, obviously by getting a more expensive controller, it gives you obviously more. There's more functionality with that controller. So there's a lot more software options and menus, etc. So it took a little bit of faffing, but it's still not unachievable for somebody to read the manual and do this.
This one is actually designed for aviation, so like aeroplanes and drones. We're only using one gimbal, aren't we? So it's but the great thing about it is you've got different receivers in your fleet of cars, and you can just change the program on that and it will connect to the different car. And that's how's that been? Is that
absolutely fantastic. Again, that was something I really wanted, was the fact that I didn't just want one vehicle. I wanted to be able to have different vehicles for different things. You know, you look at the big blue car there. It's an off-road sand racer.
Not for indoor use.
No, absolutely.
It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
But that's great, you know, if you can get onto a proper racetrack, for instance. But like you say, if we wanted to just go over the park, I wanted a vehicle that I could just grab with the kids and go over the park with. So I wanted an engineering solution that wasn't just operated by mouth, but something that I could easily adapt to other vehicles. So with that controller that we got, it gave us that functionality that there's, you know, simply go into the menu. I think we've got 5 different vehicles on there now. Just by switching up, you know, the flick of a button, I can operate any one of those 5 cars.
And you can show the kids how to drive the cars properly.
Absolutely.
It didn't stop there, though, did it, Simon?
No. So again, you know, once we'd kind of figured out that solution, I think it became apparent that when I visited the racetrack, it became quickly apparent that I wasn't actually able to view the whole of the track, being obviously in a chair. For normal racers, they've got a viewing platform, which was inaccessible. So I was stuck very much down by trackside, and I couldn't view the whole of the track. which gives me, obviously a huge disadvantage that I wasn't then able to use the whole of the track. I wanted to be able to, have a camera mounted, right, and came back and mentioned about FPV goggles. And yeah, we looked at it and trialled it and came up with a fantastic solution.
And it has worked as well.
It's amazing, yeah, it's worked really well.
It's an FPV system and it's designed for drones again. So I used to dabble in a bit of FPV drone flying. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Imagine watching through the eyes of a drone as it's careering through trees. Yeah, so it was fun. But this is a great use for it. Obviously, it's enabled Simon to see what the car's seeing, so that's great. So yeah, Simon has that on his head, and this is fancy HD camera, so it's 1080p at least, I think. Yeah, so that transmits the video feed through there. Goggles receive it. It's not much latency or anything like that. It's pretty immediate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and it basically just gives you driver's view essentially. Yeah. Which I think, as Martyn said, with drones, equally, with the vehicle, it is quite a scary view to begin with, but you do get used to it very quickly.
Amazing. And is that going to give you competitive advantage?
Wow.
Is it legal in the racing community? Do you think they'll give you dispensation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping I'll get dispensation. But to be honest, this is still really early days of me. Driving the vehicles around the field and etc. Is one thing, but to actually, the intricacies of driving around a set course.
Shaving off those milliseconds for your lap
yeah,
time.
exactly. I mean, it's quite hard work actually, just on my neck and shoulders. If it was somebody else, it might give you an advantage. I think with me, it will just enable me to get around the track. It might take me an hour or so, but I'll get around it. Like I say, for a few years now, I've been kind of having to learn to adapt to this new life of not being able to do anything for myself. Getting a drink, for example, just then. Yeah. So, everything I do in life now requires me having to ask and sometimes kind of direct and instruct sounds really terrible, I think, but sometimes it is that, I do need to give clear direction and instructions.
We could have gone for dictate.
Well, yeah, dictate.
Dictator.
So as much as I'd love to be in there now, doing it myself, it hasn't been that difficult watching others or Martyn do it for me. It's actually quite nice, I think, having somebody that I can chat to and throw ideas off that has that sort of technical background and mind themselves. This solution would easily work on much smaller vehicles and also much larger. And I'd love to be able to kind of adapt it even further to potentially look at drones as well. I mean, it'd require a little bit more, like I said, an engineering solution for the switches, because I mean, this is simple, sort of up, down, left and right. Looking at a drone is, forwards, backwards, left and right. You need something to lift as well.
You need 2 lots of what you've got now for a drone. So
yeah.
You would maybe have blow and suck.
Yeah, sip and puff, or yeah, exactly, or even like push and pull potentially. But it's something that I am keen to look at and develop even further. But I think for now, this has just brought so much, sort of joy and fun to the whole family. Really, it's been fantastic. But I know I couldn't do that without the assistance of Martyn. He's been brilliant. But I think you can see that I'm not moving my head and neck that much. I've got full range on the vehicle itself, but it doesn't require a lot of head and neck movement, which for me, as a quadriplegic, is fantastic, because they're the only muscles I can use, and ultimately the only muscles I can feel. So when they're overworked, and I can get overworked quite quickly, it can be really painful. So the fact that I don't have to move that much to use this system, it's brilliant. But again, that's down to Martyn looking at different solutions for me.
Do you think shrinking this box here a bit so that it's not knocking on this, and then shortening the length of the mouthpiece so you've got more fine control, or
yeah, possibly, yeah,
you'd have to move your head less, or are you okay with the head movement, the amount of head movement?
It works, but I, as an engineer myself, I'm always keen to to look at modifications, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
A project never ends.
absolutely, yeah, of course, yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a product, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Any overheating of the camera or anything like that?
Not so far. It's been operating now for, you know, a good 10 minutes, would you say?
Cool. I was a bit worried about that. The VTX gets extremely hot, but there is a fan on top of it.
I think, as I said when we were first talking, as a quadriplegic, even just in my own sort of personal life, I was a very active person and loved doing not only my own sports, etc., and getting out and about, but going out with the family. You know, we were a really busy family. So after the accident, and when I said that, you know, I struggled to find anything as a quadriplegic to do to kind of fill that time. You know, I really wanted to find a solution for that. So this project not only gave me something mentally to focus on, keeping those engineering gears kind of working over and ticking, it's now given me a solution that I can go out with the family again, and we've got this activity that we can all do together. So yeah, you know, this project has really sort of changed my new life as such. It's been faultless. You say sort of process. It didn't feel like a process. It's felt like an engineering project, which, you know, I was used to. So Martyn's been really easy to work with. If I've emailed him or contact, you know, straight back, and so yeah, it's been really fun to do. Let's say.
Collaborative deployment.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, like, you know, when I say it has made a massive difference, it really has. And you know, so yeah, thank you very much.